I want to talk to you today about creating resolutions that actually stick. Because let's think about it. What's the point of making a resolution? A resolution is something that you do, you resolve that I want to get better in this area, and we all have them. And if you don't have them, you should get some, because we are all a work in progress, and getting better is incremental. Hey, welcome to another video. Welcome to the Bajo channel. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. So we are now at the end of 2025, and this is the New Year's resolution season, right? And every year around the same time, you hear about what people are going to do, what they're not going to do anymore. And they have this really hopeful and audacious plans of just becoming better, which I think is fantastic. But the issue is a lot of those resolutions, they don't stick. A lot of reasons they don't stick is because sometimes it's just in a moment, you know, it's with the season, everybody's doing it. So we just kind of throw these desires out with no real plan, no real basis for execution. And I want to talk to you today about creating resolutions that actually stick. Because let's think about it. What's the point of making a resolution? A resolution is something that you do, you resolve that I want to get better in this area, and we all have them. And if you don't have them, you should get some, because we are all a work in progress, and getting better is incremental. No one has arrived. No one in the world has arrived like they are their best self. Everything is a journey. Some are further along in their journey than others, but at the end of the day, we're still all on the journey. So I want to do a 2-part video and just share a few things, I don't even want to call them resolutions, but for the sake of this video, I'll just say resolutions. I'll give you a few resolutions and how to kind of execute them that will actually impact your self-care journey and that may actually have a better chance of sticking and being sustainable. So first of all, you want to choose different resolutions that you can work on incrementally. You do not want to create this grandiose goal. And like I said before, it's like you have no idea of even how to begin. And it's sort of kind of like that age-old adage that people say all the time: how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's kind of like where I'm going with this. You have to have small incremental goals. And you can have large goals, but you have to have incremental executional, actionable steps, because otherwise it just sits there and does absolutely nothing. So I'll give you a few examples in this video, and I'll give you a few more in the next video, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about that can baby step you to larger fulfillment of certain goals. So number one, let's start here. You can schedule a screen-free evening every week. Like, you don't have to jump out and say, I'm not watching TV anymore. I'm going to take a whole week off of TV. But just out of 1 week, have one evening where you have no screen, no computer, no TV, just maybe a book, paper, pencil. I mean, we actually did have a life prior to technology and computers and cell phones, but to schedule one day out of the week to say, I'm going to go screen free. That is a incremental goal in terms of walking towards or reaching a larger goal of saying, hey, I'm only going to watch TV, or I'm only going to be on my screen X amount of times. But if you're always binging on things online, if you're always on watching television, to say that I'm not going to do it anymore is unfathomable and it's unrealistic. And that is how your resolution, it never works. So to say one day from the week, just one day out of the week, I'm going to do a screen-free evening. I didn't even say the whole day. Just one evening when I come home, I'm not logging in. I'm not, whatever it is. Like if you work from your job and you work on your computer, just have a certain time where you're saying, listen, I'm going to do my work earlier. I'm not going to go to bed on this computer, or I'm not going to go to bed watching television. So that's a very good goal that can stick because it's so small and it's something that your mind can wrap itself around that, hey, I can actually attain this. Another one that you could do that could stick is to have a gratitude check-in every week. Every week, just have a gratitude check-in. Check in with yourself and think about things, or even write them down. I'm a writer. I like to take pen to paper. I don't even like to type it in my phone, because the more senses that you use, according to psychology, the more senses that you use, taste, smell, see, sight, feel, your brain actually locks it in to remember it even more so. So that's why I like to take pen to paper. But I challenge you, take pen to paper if you can find it, and do a weekly gratitude check-in. Just what are you grateful for at the end of that week, every single day? Oftentimes we are going so fast and we're going to the next thing, from the next thing to the next thing. You do not even have the moment to sit down and just have a moment of gratitude, being grateful that you're alive, being grateful that you were able to even make it through the week safely. You're back in the house safely, that your family is safe, like you have food. It's so many things that we have to be grateful for, but we never take a moment to check in. So to set that as a goal is something very realistic, and it could be something that actually helps you to maybe even become grateful every day. Maybe you begin to write it every day, but instead of starting there, do it at the end of every week, maybe. Maybe at the end of every week. If you already do it at the end of every week, do it every 2 or 3 days. Already doing it, do it every day. If you're doing it every day already, do it more times throughout the day. Gratitude is a position, it's a mental position. And gratitude opens you up to so much more, so many opportunities, so many connections, just being grateful. I met a person last week, honestly, and I was talking to the person about a different opportunity that had become available. And I had to look for a person to collaborate with. And so as I was sharing the opportunity with the person, I sensed this spirit of ungratefulness and like pompousness. Like they know everything, they have everything, and they don't need the opportunity. And just right in that moment, I was turned off, and I was just like, this person has an ungrateful spirit. They never knew that I felt that way, or I sensed that, but it came across so strong that it like slapped me in the face. And you never know how many opportunities that you pass up just by not having that muscle activated to be grateful and to sit in a space of gratefulness. If I sit here and I tell you all the things that I'm grateful for, like this video it would be so like, you would be nauseated. I could speak about gratitude ad nauseum, promise you. Because it's something that I've practiced and that it has sticked in terms of my self-care journey, because me being grateful opens me up to even attempt other self-care initiatives for myself, personal initiatives. Maybe I can do this. I can do that. Maybe I could do this. And I have different personal self-care goals that I want to achieve. But if I'm not grateful and I don't sit in gratitude for what I've already achieved and what I already have or what I'm already doing, it's very highly unlikely that I'll ever step into another goal and it actually comes into fruition. So yeah, do a weekly gratitude check-in. And last but not least, right? Very little people say, listen, I need to drink more water. So I see people walking around with these big gallon waters and they get home and it's still like only like a fourth maybe have been touched or however, because it's too big too fast. If you want to increase your water, which we all do, we need to stay hydrated. We are over 60% water. Our whole body is over 60% water. That tells you that we need to stay hydrated, right? And for me, I have to take it little by little. If I don't wake up in the morning and drink my water, like it doesn't set the day off for me to meet my water goals for that day because I didn't start off right. But for you, I implore you, if you're a person that wants to just hydrate better, because hydration changes everything. It gives you more mental clarity. It helps you to eat better and less sugar, helps you to crave less sugar. It helps you to eat less food because you have this feeling of fullness. Your skin looks better. Your hair is more high. It does so many things. Your body needs it. And so if you just commit to drinking one additional glass of water every day that you had the day before, that is a reasonable and doable goal. Say you only drink one bottle of water a day. I'm not judging. Maybe that's you. So for your New Year's resolution, let's do 2 bottles for the day. And try to hold that maybe for the week or maybe for the next 2 or 3 days and maybe add another bottle. Like, take it slow. We're in a rush to go nowhere. My mother used to say that to us all the time. You're such in a rush. You're such in a rush to go nowhere. And it's like, you have to have a sense of trust in your heart. And I am guilty. I promise you, I am guilty of this all the time. And I have to pull myself back. It's like we're racing to the next thing. And you don't really sit in the moment and do the things that you're supposed to do in that moment because your mind is already racing to the next thing. If it's hydrating, drink an extra bottle of water a day. That's it. That's a realistic, worthy goal. And just because your goal is not something that is so robust and so grandiose, it doesn't mean that goal or those small steps will not impact your life greatly. Think about it. Small baby steps, doing certain things, impact you greater than just trying to do one large, massive undertaking. Sometimes it's too much for your mind to even grapple with because you still have other things that's going on. That's the thing. You got to realize just because you make one goal doesn't mean that all your other responsibilities fall to the wayside. You still have to do those things. That is why it's important to incrementally introduce these things into your life. If you need to hydrate more, drink an extra bottle of water every single day. Just stay right there. And if you're having a hard time, don't move until you get that down consistently. 1 extra bottle. That's it. And last but not least, going to bed 15 minutes earlier. When you know you need to get rest and you're staying up too late and you're waking up and you're groggy and you can't really function, sometimes you could just go to bed like 15 to 20 minutes earlier every night. I didn't say an hour. I didn't say 2 hours. If you start to consistently go to bed maybe 15 minutes earlier, maybe if you're staying consistent with that, it'll become an hour earlier. It might even become an hour and a half to 2 hours earlier, and you will see a difference. The point is you want to see a difference in the things that you do. You want those goals and those steps that you're taking to impact your life. And because you're doing small steps accumulate and they become big, massive steps. But don't start with the big, massive steps. That is why these big, massive resolutions do not stick. So yeah, these are just a few things that I wanted to share with you. Just to start your new year off, small baby steps, and stay consistent with those. Stay consistent. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. I thank you for listening. And remember that self-care, it is the best care. Later.